welcome to another episode of Gold Rush here on the JTR Podcast Network. This is Mark Reb coming to you from the Noodles position in Champaign, Illinois. Joined as always by my buddy Jabari Sinclair. It's been too long, my friend, since we've done this.
It really has. It really has. Happy 2025, everybody.
Happy 2025. Maybe it's me. That music sounds like that could almost be Camaro's entrance music.
Yeah, it could be. It's right. It's so grand and noble.
Very grand, and he is the Grand Regent after all.
Very fitting.
Shout out to Camaro. He was a guest on the Indie Shootout Wednesday, and he was friggin' awesome as always. So
yes, he was.
So
y'all get a chance. Check it out.
Yeah, please do. It is on YouTube on this very channel or on Facebook Live, on the Independent Shootout Facebook page. You can go back and catch it there. There have been a lot of false starts on this episode, Bari, because we've been wanting to talk about this belt for a long damn time.
Yeah. We got it's almost been 2 months in the making, but life happens and
then life happens.
Yeah. You got to just kind of jump in there and try to grab things by the reins as you can. So
now we're here. We're in a new year. You got your opulent new digs there that you're broadcasting from. Congratulations on it.
Very much intergalactic as well.
Yes.
That's neither here nor there.
Okay, that's all right. So, this one was your choice. As of the last time we were live, you got to pick the next episode, and you chose one of my very favorites, which is the NWA/WCW World Television Championship, the silver one that everybody knows and loves from '85 to '92.
Yes,
and this one is a Reggie Parks design. There's Reggie, and this is gotta be the most common design of the '80s as far as title belts goes. Look at every territory in the country had something, at least one belt with this design. Like you had the National Heavyweight Championship in Georgia, you had the AWA tag titles, the World Class American Championship. All Hogan's belt in 1984 had this title design.
Yeah, it sure did.
But I think this one is definitely my favorite. Here's a shot of it. And I've got to ask you the burning question, Bari, first and foremost, red or black?
Red.
You go red. It depends on my mood. I love the red belt, but I also really like the black one. A good black strap. Just it looks traditional.
The black is sharp as well. But when I think about this particular championship, I think about the red strap.
The deep red from the original belt that Dusty had.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the NWA reintroduced the belt a couple of years ago, it's more of a bright red on the strap. Yeah. That one doesn't hit my eyes quite so well. Other than that, it's the same belt. Like they didn't stray from the design. They didn't update the side plates at all. Because if you look at the plates, I mean, this is an '80s television title. You got all the three major networks and a satellite dish on the side plates.
Yeah, ABC, NBC, CBS, and satellite dishes.
Mm-hmm. You got the Eagle. You got the. I mean, it's just everything you want in a championship belt.
It really is.
I mean, it's silver. It doesn't have to be gold because the world title was the gold one. The TV title was in Crockett. How did you see it, Bari? Did you see it? The tier system. World title. Is it U.S. then TV, or is it the other way around? In your opinion?
For a while there, it was television then United States. Because you've seen the television title defended more than you've seen the United States Championship defended. And the United States Championship had a lot of big names that held it, but it felt like the television championship was a starter belt for a lot of big names.
The TV title seemed more like the workhorse championship. Like everybody talks about the Continental title being that in its day.
Exactly.
So, a few fun facts about this one. Like I said, designed by the great Reggie Parks. Debuted in, I believe it was April of '85. Dusty won the NWA Television Championship from Tully in March of that year. And then in April, I believe, is when they officially named it the world title and presented him with this belt on,
Mm-hmm.
on Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling. It was deactivated in May of 1992 in WCW when Steve Austin was the champion. Uh, he first match got Dusty and Steve Austin. Most reigns, Arn Anderson with 3. With this belt, he had 4 total with the TV title. Arn also the longest reign with 336 days. With,
Mm.
this goes to show what they thought about Arn to put a singles title on that long.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, the shortest reign was Bobby Eaton at 15 days. And this is the Crockett era, WCW era. I do have stats for the Power era from this new version. Longest reign Tyrus, 476 days, and Ricky Starks with the shortest with 2 days. So and we'll get into the guys in the current NWA that have held this title also. Let's run through it here. Like we said, starts with Dusty. I mean, most things in the NWA in 1985 started with Dusty Rhodes.
Well, of course.
I mean, look at that. I mean, it looks like if I had hair, that could be me. Chubby guy with a ball cap and
There you go.
a looks unbearable Tony Schiavone on the microphone in this picture.
Big wire rim glasses. Yeah, you know, you got it.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I see you. My cat is being a pain. I'm half expecting some feline interference on your part, Mr. Ubangi, because you have new feline roommates.
I do. I have 2 new feline roommates, and they are actually have the door closed, so they can't get in. But I'm quite sure when I open the door, there'll be one of them waiting for me.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, like I said, Dusty had beaten Tully on March 16th of '85 in Greensboro. On April 28th, Tully won the belt from Dusty, got it back, and there he is there.
That belt looked good on Tully.
It really did. I mean, it was the right. Tully's a small guy, and that's not a huge belt, so it looked like the proper size for Tully.
Exactly.
Which I'm not saying to be a jerk or anything about size or anything. I mean, I felt the same way about the Intercontinental belt on Rey Mysterio.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Dusty won the belt back at the Great American Bash on July 6th of '85, and then it got vacated because that's when Flair and the Andersons broke his ankle in the cage in the build-up to Starrcade. Man, how many times have you watched that angle in the last 40 years?
Guy, I know myself at least a dozen. At least a dozen.
You want to show somebody how to get heat, show them that angle and the fans trying to rip that freaking cage down to get at the Andersons.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, like the Horsemen had to legit fight people down off the cage.
Yeah. And then there's no guardrails, there's no barricades when they're trying to get back to the locker room. And I can't imagine. I mean, the Andersons are tough guys, so I imagine they were fighting the guys off. But I mean, there's thousands of people in that building trying to kill them.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can't imagine that nowadays. And I don't think anybody in the business can imagine that.
Right.
This is madness. So Dusty gets stripped of the title. They have a tournament on January 4th, 1986, actually about 38 years to the day, pretty much. And I have the tournament here. This was at the Greensboro Coliseum on January 4th, '86. And here are the opening matches from this show. It was Wahoo McDaniel beating the Barbarian in the first round, which I can only imagine the hoss fight that was.
I'm telling you.
That Wahoo didn't fuck around, neither did the Barbarian.
No.
Tully Blanchard beat Ron Bass, the old outlaw, in the first round. A guy who just passed away apparently yesterday, Black Bart versus Road Warrior Animal, ended in a double countout in the first round.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm. And then Double A, Arn Anderson beat Jimmy Valiant in the first round to move on. Semifinals, Arn got the bye. No, sorry, they actually substituted. They substituted Ron Garden to fill the spot. They didn't want to give Double A bye. I guess they didn't want him to reap any rewards for taking Dusty out.
Right.
So Double A beat Garvin. A 17-minute match. I can't imagine that in a tournament. Then Wahoo beat Tully by disqualification in 8 minutes in the other semifinal match. And in the finals, Arn Anderson beat Wahoo. So there he is. He's World Television Champion there. And maybe the guy I most associate with that belt, Bari, is Arn Anderson. And I'm not just saying that because he's my favorite wrestler.
Well, yeah, I mean, hell, he held three different versions of the title. So he held the red one, the black one, and the more modern version, if you will.
Now, he had four because he had the red and the black. He also had that like silver version in between this one.
Yeah. Okay.
And the mini gold, the Paul Orndorff version.
Right. The that silver one I call the TBS.
Yes. And then he was the first one to hold the mini gold, as we mentioned in a past episode.
The mini nugget, yeah.
Yeah. It's not a nugget. I'm sorry, I had to do another one. So Double A has the belt on January 4th of 86, holds it until September. He had a good long run with it. And that's right at the very genesis of the Four Horsemen. So he wasn't like completely established as a single at this point. He was still always tag team partner, pretty much. September 9th, 86, he went back to Dusty at a live event in South Carolina. And then at Starrcade of 86, Dusty lost the belt to Tully in the first blood match, Starrcade.
Yeah.
Which I love that match. Everything about that match from the beginning, when JJ's putting the Vaseline on Tully's head, giving him the headgear and trying everything he can to knock him bust open, to when JJ busts open. I've said this for years. Nobody took the elbow better than JJ Dillon.
No one did.
Not a one. Dusty been in with the best of the best, but JJ, and I will tell JJ that when we meet him at the Squared Circle Expo, I want to make a point to tell him that. And yeah, it's just good stuff. And I think it helps that they were friends. They were JJ was Dusty's lieutenant in the back when he was the booker. But
yeah.
That's what our friend Menders says, Bari. Best friends will beat the hell out of each other.
Beat the hell out of each other, exactly. Make the best matches. Let's make some money.
Yep. So Tully beat Dusty. It means it's Starrcade in the time for blood match. Starrcade. He would hold the title until August 17th, 1987. So a good 10 months. And then he lost the title in a live event in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And he lost it to the Russian Nightmare, Nikita Koloff. There he is. Look at that. Look at that handsome devil.
Look at him.
Who didn't wrestle out of a paper bag, but
exactly.
I mean, that's the thing. Look at all the people that they put him with because he started in '84 with no experience, and they put him with Ivan to run with and to train with and everything. But look who he's working with. He's working with the Road Warriors. He's working with Flair, Dusty, the Horsemen. They're not working. They're not putting him with the Mulkeys every day to try to learn. No. And that's not a knock on the Mulkeys either.
All the big names, and that goes to show you, right? If you have a look, it'll take you very far.
Mm-hmm. AJ, it must be in the other room there. The worse you beat each other up, the more money you make, and the more money you make, the better you are. That's pretty
exactly
there.
Right now, he's downstairs holding it down.
Yeah. So yeah, Nikita's the first guy I remember with the belt because '87's right around the time I started really paying attention to the NWA because that's when it was on. And I would say that it was on Sunday mornings between the WWF, like Superstars of Wrestling on Sundays, and football or roller derby or whatever it was on after that. So it was like a 3-hour block of wrestling pretty much every weekend for a good year. And that's when I started watching NWA, and it was when Nikita was the champion. And my first wrestling magazine was a PWI, and it was after Starrcade when he had beaten Terry Taylor, and he had both TV titles on his shoulders.
Very nice.
And yeah, that's what we're going to come back to when he's probably confused as that Koloff-Taylor feud. But Nikita holds it till January of '88, January 26th to be exact, and he dropped the title to Captain Mike Rotunda. There you see him there on the right. With the backwards S on his jacket. How ridiculous was it when they put a yachting cap on him and tried to make him an actual captain?
Jesus Christ. They tried everything with him.
Best thing that could have happened to him was going to be IRS.
Right. Exactly right. A sports jock, a yacht captain, a taxman. Taxman worked for him, though.
Yeah. Even Michael Wall Street worked for him.
Yeah, it did.
He had that look. He could be that snooty rich guy if he wanted to.
Exactly.
But, Wyndham. Rotunda had a good run with it. During his run here, the National Wrestling Alliance sold to Ted Turner while he was champion, and it was renamed WCW. But they didn't change the name of the title at that point. It was still the NWA World Television Championship. Holds the title for nearly a year. December 26, 1988, he dropped it to his former varsity club team, Rick Steiner. Look at that guy. There we go. Ooh. And with Alex on his hand there.
Yeah. Freaking psycho.
Right? This is pre-Scotty, so he was just the lovable oaf that could throw people a good distance.
Lovable oaf.
I mean, it's a pretty good descriptor, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I won't disagree.
All right, so Rick holds the title for a couple months. February 20th at Chi-Town Rumble in 1989, he dropped it back to Rotunda, and Scotty was with him at this point. He was in his corner, but they hadn't started like teaming up full time yet, and Rotunda and Sullivan found a way to outsmart Ricky and get the title off of him.
Well, that wasn't hard, but...
Well, no, but I wasn't going to say it. And Rotunda holds it for another month. At March 31st, 1989, he dropped it to the Stinger. His first major singles championship in WCW.
About the time that I started watching NWA, WCW, when I remember Sting being the television champion.
Yeah, and that was, I think about the crop of champions I had there. At this point, it was Flair's the world champion, Luger's the U.S. champion, Sting's the TV champion, and did the Freebirds have the belts by this point, or was it still was it the Road Warriors at this point?
I don't remember.
Yeah, in March, I think it was right around the time either the Warriors were the champs or it was the Varsity Club, and they got held up after that match when they beat up the referees and got stripped of the titles. But I don't have it right in front of me. But we're talking about the TV title here. Sting holds the belt until it is vacated on July 23rd after a controversial finish in a match with him and the Great Muta at the Great American Bash.
Yep.
That was Eddie Gilbert trying to get revenge for his brother when Muta misted him in the eyes, and Eddie was in Stinger's corner.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had the rematch in September at a live event. Muta got the win on Sting to win the TV title. And we don't have to go too deep into how much we love Muta. But look at that guy.
No, we don't. Look at him. A young Muta.
Yes. Back when he had 8 healthy knees and
exactly
could move around. You see the fingers of Gary Hart on his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Show him the fingers.
Come on, brother. You got to show him the fingers, brother.
And while Muta's the champ is when they do that, and we never really talked about this much, Bart, that Iron Man tournament at Starrcade.
Oh, God, yeah, they jobbed him out.
Oh, man. Everybody beat him.
Yeah.
I don't think he got a win in that tournament.
He didn't get a win. Flair beat him clean, Sting beat him clean, and then he beat Luger Luger beat him by disqualification because he missed him.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like them, and then I don't think Doom got a win in that tournament in the tag side.
Yeah.
It was Jim Hurt thinking.
Muta and Doom, yeah.
I mean, yeah, even the Samoans got a win on Doom.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's just that tournament just had me scratching my head. Like, come on, seriously, you're gonna?
Same here. I've watched that Starrcade once in my lifetime, and I don't care to see it ever again.
I started to see why Corny didn't put the Midnight Express in that tournament.
Yeah, no.
I was glad that was my first time hearing Corny on commentary when I rented that Starcade when I was a kid.
Yeah, that was.
Because Funker did the color on the singles tournament and Corny did the tag tournament.
Sure did.
Yep. So let's see. Like I said, Muta holds the belt from September till January 2nd, 1990, and almost 4 years to the day after his first win, Double A won the belt back. This is that dubious period of the Horsemen. It was Arn and Ole against Buzz Sawyer, Muta, and the Dragon Master from the JTEX Corporation, with Gary Hart. And this is around the time that they both put Sting in and kicked him out of the Horsemen. Then Sting tore up his knee.
Exactly.
So then the Horsemen were red hot as heels all over again. And it is a shame they couldn't get Tully back in, but yeah, it is what it is, I suppose.
Exactly.
Speaking of it is what it is, December 4th, 1990, Bari, in, I believe this was on tape delay, aired on December 29th. Double A lost his TV championship to the Z-Man, which I didn't remember happening until I'd read about it years later. But there was a period where they were pushing Tom Zink to the moon in WCW.
Oh yeah. I remember Z-Man being a big deal.
Yeah. He was Vader's first opponent. Got his ass kicked.
Got his ass handed to him.
That poor bastard.
Yeah.
Of course, I know him best as teaming with both with Rick Martel in the Can-Am Connection, and then teaming with Brian Pillman in WCW. But Zink didn't have a long one. He only had it for about a month.
Well, right.
And then he dropped. Well, yeah. Then try got Tommy off the screen here. Take that off. He dropped the belt back to Arn on January 7th. So every year he won the title. It was right around that January 5th period when he won the belt back, because this is January 7th. And while Arn's the champion, they renamed the belt to the WCW World Television Championship. So now they've completely washed their hands of the NWA at this point, for the most part. Holds the title for 4 months, May 19th, 1991. Spit popcorn on my hand. Double A, and again, Mender's Law about best friends, dropped the title to Bobby Eaton. And this was at Super Brawl, the first Super Brawl in St. Petersburg, Florida.
Super Brawl 1. What?
And no, I love this match especially, but when this happened, I was 9 years old. I wasn't 10 years old yet, but Bobby Eaton was still the Midnight Express guy to me. So when I saw him, when I saw that he had beaten Arn for that title, I was shocked, because I didn't appreciate Bobby then like I do now when you watch him in the ring. And Bobby held it for a little less than a month, June 3rd, 91, on Worldwide Wrestling. He lost the title to a young whippersnapper named Steve Austin. There he is.
Oh, Steve Austin.
And I remember this match because Gordon Soley was on commentary. And there's Lady Blossom there, Jeannie. And it's still weird seeing Steve with hair.
Yeah, it is. He's been bald so long.
Not only with long hair, but then having no beard. It's just The first time I showed Stacy Steve on like WCW, she's like, "That's Steve Austin," because she couldn't believe it. And I'm like, "Yeah, believe it or not, he was young and he had hair, like all of us did."
Exactly.
So Steve has the title, and while he has it, because he holds it from June until April of '92, during this point he joins the Dangerous Alliance. He's getting into War Games match. He's teaming with Rick Rude. He's got Paul E as his manager. Everything's coming up Steve at this point. He's a big deal at this point in WCW.
Yes, he is. A rising star.
Yeah, absolutely. Then let's see what the date was on that there. April 27th, 1992, on WCW Saturday Night, he did drop the title to one Barry Windham, which seems like it's overdue for Barry to win that title in 1992. You would have thought he would have had it in the 80s.
Yeah, but he was too busy fighting Flair and fighting alongside Flair in the 80s. for
Yeah,
a TV title run.
I could have seen it just as easily being Wyndham instead of Nikita beating Tully in '87
Yeah,
for that title.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, Wyndham was the big babyface teaming with Dustin Rhodes, and then he was on that War Games team with Sting in this at this period.
yep.
Uh, Holds the belt for a month, drops it to Austin again on Worldwide on May 23rd, '92, and then after Steve wins this belt, he they discontinue it. They go to the next design, the TBS belt as we call it,
Hmm.
and this design got retired. And it's hard to believe that that belt was only around for about 6 years.
Yeah.
So I fast forward, and I want to make sure I got the right timeline here. In 2020, January 24th, they have a tournament for a new version of the NWA Television Championship, and the winner was let's see, Ricky Starks. I have a picture. There we go. Stroke Daddy himself.
Stroke Daddy himself.
It's kind of got spin on everybody's the tip of everybody's tongue the last couple months with some of the stuff going on with him and AEW.
Exactly. I'm glad he's speaking out.
Should, why not? But when he showed up, because I watched Power every week when NWA brought this back to YouTube in 2019, and when Ricky debuted, they pushed him almost immediately. He
Yeah, they
turned a
did.
lot of heads when he showed up in NWA, which is why it surprised me that he only held the title for 2 days.
Crazy.
Because he, oh, wrong one. There we go. Yeah, he won the belt on January 24th in a tournament, beat Dick Murdoch. He beat Trevor Murdoch in the finals of the tournament. And then, yeah, on the next, and that was at the Hard Times pay-per-view. At the very next NWA Power on YouTube is when Zicky Dice beat him. They didn't air that episode until March, just to show how long Zicky had to kayfabe it. But, yeah, the outlandish Zicky Dice. Remember this guy?
I remember Hiziki.
I don't know if you saw much of him like on the indies, but he was in NWA. He was in TNA or Impact for a while, running with Johnny Swinger. It's a little off-putting where the nose is on his trunks. Let's not pay too much attention to that. We'll take that picture down. That's
Right.
disturbing.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think it was an upset because you didn't expect that because they were so high on Ricky. But I think Starks was about to go to AEW at that point, so they put the belt on
Yeah.
Zicky.
Makes sense.
Zicky held the title for 268 days, which I didn't realize it was that long. And on October 20th, 2020, on UWN Primetime Live, which I don't know, that must be some regional show in California because it was in Long Beach. He dropped the belt to the Pope, the old D'Angelo Dinero. What are your thoughts on the Pope, Barry?
When he left WWECW from being Elijah Burke, I feel like the Pope fits him. It's a role that he has done very well for the last 15 years.
I agree.
Yeah.
I remember when he showed up.
I like the Pope. And then I really like Daddy when he starts talking third person and Pope Daddy. Then wait a minute now here.
You could tell he's a Dusty fan.
Yeah.
But again, who isn't?
Exactly.
Except for Ronnie Garvin, apparently.
Yeah, well.
What are you going to do? All right, so the Pope holds the title, and you got to say the Pope. That's literally his name, D.A. Pope. It's like the Cobra.
Yeah. P-O-P-E, baby.
That's right. He holds the title, according to Wikipedia, and they're never wrong. He holds it between 228 and 230 days. And it says he lost the title between June 5th and June 7th.
Yeah, well, okay.
It aired on tape delay on August 6th when he dropped the title to Tyrus. There he is. The Funkasaurus himself, which I'm sure he loves being reminded of that.
Yeah, probably so.
But yeah, Tyrus, like we said, he had the longest reign between 474 or 476. Again, they can't pin down an actual amount of days. But when I'm trying to see when they actually introduced it. They had the the Lucky Seven rule, which was a champion could defend the title 7 consecutive times, would be eligible to trade in the championship for a world title shot. It's like they announced that in 2020, so that was a regular thing. Also, a nice little detail: time limit on these TV title matches in the current NWA, 6 minutes and 5 seconds. I thought that was a nice touch.
Very nice.
But let me get back to my list here. There we go. Tyrus took advantage of that Lucky Seven rule, cashed in his title for a title shot, wound up beating. I'm trying to remember who was it he beat.
Was it EC3?
I think it was Murdoch.
Okay.
To become the world champion. The title got vacated, and then it went to Jordan Clearwater. There's that fella. And he wound up beating AJ Kazana for the vacant title. The time limit was extended for this match only to 15 minutes after the previous match between the same two guys ended in a time limit draw, and there had to be a winner. So, and that was at the Hard Times 3 pay-per-view in 2022. Then on Power, let me get Jordan off here. On February 12th, 2023, Clearwater lost the title to Tom Latimer, the former Bram, if you remember Impact back in the day. Also, Mr. Camille. Camille's better. Well, I won't say better half because I wouldn't say anybody better than Camille because she might kill me. Well,
it's her beau.
Would have. I mean, I don't know about now. She, depending on how she's booked, but
right, exactly.
Yeah. So Latimer won the TV title on February 12th, 2023. Aired on February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2023. He held it until August 28th, and then he vacated it because he got the Lucky Seven rule. And then he went on to be EC3 for the world title, which is cool. And I think he's still the champ. I think he had a match with EC3 recently, but I don't remember who won. I'm assuming it was Latimer. But then after he vacated it, then we got another new champion, Big Strong Mims. I don't know how familiar you are with Mims, Bari.
I've seen Mims wrestle a time or two.
I name-checked him Wednesday on the Shootout. I suggested he and Camaro should go around at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And then turns out, I guess they were pitched as tag teams, but it wound up not happening. So, small world. But I like that Mims. He's a strong dude. But he beat again Zicky Dice for the vacant championship on my birthday, August 29th, 2023. And he held the title for 137 days, and then he dropped it to one of our faves, Bari, because he would go on to lose to the non-binary Nightmare Max the Impaler.
Yeah, Max.
Who at the time was the women's television champion. They wound up unifying those titles, so then Max got the world TV title.
Mm-hmm.
And Max scares me, Bari.
Same here.
We've been a little closer than we would care to be for comfort to Max on some of our 0-1 shows we've gone to.
Yes. They call my sweatshirt food.
Well, shoot, I remember the match Max had with the Cobra in December a couple years ago. Just, oh.
Yeah, I know, right? Slobber knocker.
Indeed. And Max held the title for 287 days, so a hell of a run. Then they wound up dropping it on October 26, 2024 on a show that aired on December 10th on NWA Power, and they dropped the title to Carson Bartholomew Drake there. One of Mender's favorites.
Exactly. SCX alum.
SCX alum, probably be there again this year. Maybe we can get a picture with the belt.
Maybe if he's got it.
I mean, I took a picture with Arn with a replica, but if he's got the actual belt, I'm just thinking,
Exactly.
But yeah. So, and as of present, Carson Drake is the World Television Champion. So that's the a completion of the lineage of the NWA/WCW television title belt. This version, the silver version. Bari, let's talk feuds. as far as notable feuds, I'm full disclosure. I don't have anything from the new version of NWA. All mine are from the glory days.
Same here, and I'm gonna have to go off the top of my head because I don't have any of my notes with me. So,
Oh no! Well, Bari, would you like me to go first, and then if
yeah,
there's any that I missed, you'll have them.
yes,
All right. First and foremost, I've got well, just for sentimentality, Koloff and Taylor, because that's the first one I remember as far as feuds go. Tully and Dusty. I mean, come on. Is there anything
yeah,
better than Tully and Dusty in a feud?
exactly. Anytime a man shaves his name and says right into your head, it's a real feud.
Mm-hmm. AJ may have me pegged. He says, "Oh, I don't care about a picture with you. I want a picture with a belt." Yeah, I wouldn't be that bold to say that to his face. I mean, he can be cropped later. I'm kidding. Uh, so, the feud that I associate more with the U.S. title, but they had a really good one for the TV title is Steve Austin and Ricky Steamboat. Again, take those two guys. Never saw having a bad match between them.
Exactly.
Of course, how do you have a bad match with Steamboat? Hercules Hernandez had a good match with Steamboat at WrestleMania 2.
Yes, he did.
Muta and Sting goes without saying. Just those two guys matched so well together. And then Rotundo and Rick Steiner is my fifth one.
Okay.
Just because that's the feud that really propelled Rick to get away from the Varsity Club, become a babyface. It kind of paved the way for the Steiner brothers, because then Scotty came in as his
exactly.
his
Exactly. No, those are all pretty, very, very notable feuds. I don't have anything to add to it. I will say that the Sting and Muta feud, I do remember because, like I said, that's when I started watching NWA/WCW.
That was during that period is when one of the smoothest moments in wrestling, Bari, the Thunderdome, when the leaves caught on fire at the top, and everybody's panicking trying to put it out. Muta just strolls up to the side of the cage, just blows the mist on it, and puts it out.
Exactly.
Nothing to do it.
No problem. This stuff is good for anything.
It's an all-purpose solution.
Exactly. Face paralyzer, eye blinder, flame retardant,
entrance accessory.
Yeah, all the above.
Bari, or did you have any that I missed off the top of your head that you remember?
No.
All right. Well, let's talk top 5 champions to hold the belt. And well, actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll go top 5 because we still have favorite matches also. But top 5 champions. I'm going to assume we're going to have the same 5, Bari. I got, in no particular order, I got Dusty Rhodes. I mean, come on. Arn Anderson. Like I said, Arn's the guy I most associate with it. Steve Austin, Tully Blanchard, Great Muta is my top 5.
Yeah.
Kind of a no-brainer if you think about it.
That's a no-brainer. A no-brainer at all.
Mm-hmm. Favorite matches. Some of them that I have are pretty well known. Some of them are kind of forgotten gems here. Dusty and Tully from Starrcade, the First Blood match. It's my favorite.
The First Blood match, yeah.
Arn and Bobby from Super Brawl, when Bobby won the title. I threw in the Nikita Taylor match from Starrcade with the Eddie Gilbert interference because I thought that was better than any match that Terry Taylor and Nikita Koloff for the Principals and has any business being.
Right.
But very strong performance by all three of those guys. Maybe the most unsung, I don't want to say forgotten, but not usually one on the top of everybody's list, is Steve Austin and Dustin Rhodes from Halloween Havoc 91 that wound up going to draw.
Yeah.
And both of them busted up. I heard a story, I think Austin told that when they went back to through Gorilla after the match, Luger looked at them like they were nuts because they both had blood pouring out their face and they were kind of messy, and Luger was going out to defend the world title and he was all oiled up and buff and everything, and they thought something might be wrong with those two young men.
Yeah.
But this, I love Halloween Havoc 89, but 91's right up there for my favorite Halloween Havocs. Just overall, I mean, the Farouk Simmons Luger match. You got I dare say, the Chamber of Horrors match that opened the show was interesting. I said interesting, didn't say good. I mean, the people in that match should have made it better than it was.
Yeah, it was just poorly booked.
It was just, that would have been a Tony Khan booking idea if he was
Yes, it
alive,
would have.
if he was around 30 years ago. And then
Well,
my
yeah.
other one, yeah, and then I actually have one that didn't have a finish, Sting and Muta from Great American Bash when they held the title up. Again, never saw a bad match with those guys. And then the rematch that they had on TV was damn good also. But this one that was my first time seeing these two like against each other, like one-on-one. Like I'd seen the Thunderdome match, but
Right.
then going back and watching this, I was like, oh damn, this is good stuff.
Yeah,
And
they had great chemistry.
yeah, and going forward, even to when Sting was about to, well, actually when Muta was retiring, Sting went over and teamed with him and Noah, and they kind of put a pin in their rivalry. So that was cool. But yeah, so that's my 5. Can you think of any that I may have missed there, Bari?
None that you can miss, but I will say that I watched the Tully and Dusty First Blood match, and yeah, that was a hell of a match.
Yes, very much so. All right, well, Bari, I think that's everything we had related to this championship, as I try not to burp into my microphone. So I think it is my turn to pick for the next episode. And I've actually been thinking about this today, and I think we're going to go back to the WWF for this one.
Okay.
Because I think I want to go with the Big Eagle WWF Championship.
Okay. The Mr. Attitude Era.
Yeah, and I think we'll cover the block logo blue strap version and the one from the Attitude Era with the scratch logo that went through 2002. So we'll just we'll just cover the title from 98 to 02.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
And I might get some heat for this. I always liked that belt better than the Winged Eagle when I was younger. It was bigger.
It was bigger.
My opinion has changed as I've wizened with age. But
right. No. We were just watching. We were just watching Rock Mankind's I Quit match from Rumble '99, and I was just saying, you know what? I think the Big Eagle will have to be the next belt I pursue. I like it. I love
that belt. Yeah, I'd love but it's got to be the block logo and it's got to be the blue strap if I'm getting the version of it.
Exactly. To me, the Big Eagle reminds me. It was WWF's version of the World Heavyweight Championship from WCW.
The big gold.
Yeah.
Yes. And he got the little hiatus because that's around the time Austin had the Smoking Skull belt also.
Yeah.
But and the original version, the block logo version, it was gold. It looked like a gold. But then I don't know if it was the version later on was also gold. It looked almost tarnished.
It looked tarnished, and then it wasn't, and then the edges weren't as sharp as the original.
Right, but it didn't look as prestigious. Is that the right word I'm looking for? As the original block logo belt?
Because they scaled it down and put it on a black strap. That's why.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of gave it the Jack Perry treatment. They kind of doled it up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I mentioned Jack Perry on this show. I shouldn't have. Shame
you get
on
one
me.
pass.
I get one pass. Thank you. All right. Well, Bari, it was a good return. It's not a season premiere. It's just we're back from vacation.
That's it.
What was it? 3 months since the last time?
Damn near.
damn near. But
It was right. It was still kind of warm outside last time we did one. So
yeah, right. It is definitely not now.
no.
So, and I get to walk in it tomorrow morning at 5:30 to get to work.
Ew.
All right. Well, Bari, let's say we put a pin in this. We got SmackDown starting here in about 14 minutes. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you got some more stuff you got to do at your opulent new digs.
Yeah, I got to put together a closet organizer. So yeah, I'll do that before I go down here and go watch SmackDown with
Casa
AJ.
de Hoots.
Exactly.
Oh, AJ, let's make sure we don't forget the 2-part episode on the Lucha Underground titles. We're making that happen because
Yeah.
you got
Okay.
the gift of the gods belt for Christmas. AJ
Yeah.
got the Lucha Underground Championship, and we talked about doing the 2-parter.
AJ, you let us know when you're free on a Friday, and we'll do it.
Heck yeah. In the next month, because 2 weeks we're doing this, the big gold. After that, big eagle, I should say. All right, well, Barry, let's say we get out of here. Thanks everybody for joining us. Don't forget to join us on Jumping the Rail on Tuesday. Independent Shootout Wednesday with Jason Pemberton, ace referee. And then, of course, the Extreme F and Review podcast every Friday. Menders and I talk about ECW on TNN. We just, yeah, I think we got a doozy coming up next Friday that we're going to talk about. So make sure you join us for that on Spotify and Audible. But in the meantime, Barry, let's get out of here. Until next time, let's remind everybody life is hard, work stiff. We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.